Hey y'all, it's John here, 3 days post finishing the Alabama Relief Run. Recovery's going pretty well so far. I can almost feel the entire bottoms of my feet, which isn't necessarily a good thing at the moment, but the feeling is coming back, so that's a good thing. I just thought I'd give a little wrap up of how the run went overall, some lessons learned and all that good stuff. You know, from starting off at 57 miles on day one to waking up every day after that thinking, oh, holy cow, how am I going to run again? Tony and Danny, the crew, definitely were laughing at me when I'd be, walking all stiff-legged when I got out of the van at the very beginnings of the day, only to most of the time be jogging pretty well next time they saw me an hour and a half later. It was always very interesting to see. So that's definitely one of the lessons I learned is, how well you really can keep moving even when you think you can't. The recovery process that you go through any given night is huge, but there's also the amazing just aspect of your body that it'll do what you ask it to do, even when it makes no sense to do so. From like the best example I know of is day 5, where I woke up and then crashed and burned. Got about 3 miles in and the wheels just totally came off. But somehow, after warming back up and maybe getting a little bit more food and water and stuff in me, managed to put it all back together and actually have a really good day. We ended that day in Tuscaloosa with a pretty fantastic run. Another thing I learned is I never knew how bad your feet could actually hurt. But I learned that they can hurt really awful bad. But I also learned that regardless of how bad the bottoms may or may not be feeling, you can keep on going. You can just kind of tune that part out. What was interesting, I think, the most to me was seeing the people along the way, having obviously the people that were working with me all the time, the crew were invaluable. Tony Bolin and Danny Cutts are the reason this thing worked. This would not have come together at all if it weren't for them. They certainly pulled me on through and got me through some of the tough moments. And then having some fantastic pacers like my brother Peter on day 2. He was a clutch thing. He was a clutch person to have on day 2 because that was awful hard to get out and get going that day with so far to go, but already feeling the effects from day 1. And then the wonderful pacing duties of my darling little sister, who you can see over my shoulder.
Hey.
And my wonderfully inimitable mother, who's sitting over there playing on her computer, probably planning world domination or something. I don't know.
Right.
And then having the Huntsville Track Club and the River City Runners send some out, and the mighty Austin Cross Country team send some people out, and then just folks from all over showing up and running. That really helped pull me through. So yeah, there's that aspect, the people that worked with me during the run, but what left an even bigger impression on me was seeing the people I was running for, seeing people that I met on the side of the road, and I'd tell them what was going on and they'd hand me a $20 bill. Or seeing the people in the towns that were affected by the tornadoes was huge. Going through Tuscaloosa and hearing people give us stories of, oh, I was in my apartment and watched the tornado go down that way. Or going through Hackleburg, where I got to talk to the people that were in the Wrangler plant as it was getting blown away, and seeing just how resilient they actually are. And then going through Phil Campbell and having people just sit and want to talk with me. That was so cool. And having a 70-something-year-old lady put on her shoes and come out and run a couple hundred meters and then walk a quarter mile with me. That was just huge to me, and they were also just fantastic to see. And so that was certainly one, if not the highlight of my run was getting to see the people that I was running for, and how, regardless of what their situation may or may not be in the aftermath of these storms, that by golly, they're still going, and they are rebuilding, and they are all incredibly positive about it. So, regardless of how tired I might have been, regardless of how bad my feet hurt, regardless of how many wood trucks I had to jump off the side of the road and dodge the bark shrapnel they threw, seeing those people made it entirely worth it. They are the reason that it happened, and seeing them certainly made me glad I went through every step of the way. So that being the case, I can't say that I'm already planning on doing something again, but seeing that definitely leaves the option open. Go when you do something like this. Yeah, it wears you out. Yeah, it hurts. It stresses and strains me in a lot of ways, and it's stressed and strained the crew in a lot of ways. Crewing's tough, but I think Tony and Danny would agree that just seeing these people and seeing the difference that we're making made it all worth it. I know that tomorrow I'm putting in the mail something to the tune of just a little shy of $3,000 that people have just handed me in donations, putting that in the mail to Habitat tomorrow. And I know that they had already received, as of a week ago, had already received something like $6,000 or $7,000, and hopefully that'll keep rolling up. The website is in fact still up and is still functional. The donation link is still functional, and so I'm hoping that the donations will continue to roll in. We've still got the t-shirts available, so we'll get a few more donations in that way. But I think that, all that being said, this run was in fact a success. I was telling all my my crew, my family, and all them, by golly, we did it. It was a success. Yeah, I ran a little ways, but that's okay. But it worked. We got some people's attention, and we put it back to where it should be, with the people that are picking up the pieces. So I think that being said, that it worked. So it was definitely worth the while. Yeah, so with that being said, any final thoughts from my inimitable mother or darling little sister?
Guess not.
I don't believe that for a second.
It was fun. It was real, but I can't say that it was real fun.
That coming from my inimitable mother, who, by the way, ran 11 miles on day 5 and 18, I believe, on day 8. And my darling little sister...
2.5 on day 9.
And 2.5 on day 9. I can't forget that. and my little sister, who ran 22 miles on day 9, which is a ginormous distance PR. And then just today, less than a week later, she had a season's best cross-country race. So, I mean, holy cow, look at that. So, that being the case, I really do appreciate all y'all that have followed along with this run, and hopefully we'll have a little more for you later. Who knows? We'll see. All right, until then, take it easy.